Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello crypto friends, hope you're doing fantastic. It's another beautiful spring day here on the east coast of the US. Hope it's wonderful where you are as well. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. I'm going to be starting on the longer term time frames because it's a fairly slow day, and you can anticipate when it's going to be a slow day by how the pattern is shaping up. And I'll tell you what I mean when we get into the 4-hour time frame, which is the most important time frame visually in terms of representing where we stand right now. Oftentimes it's the 1 hour, again shorter term because I'm a day trader, but right now it's the 4 hour, and I'll show you why. So starting it off the weekly time frame, we have our low of the pullback, the high of the bounce, and we are forming a higher low now. And we can be confident that this is our higher low because we had an inside bar bull break, and that's the bull saying, all right, we're done pulling back from now, or for now. We're going to see a bounce, and that's our new must-hold support level for the bulls. So why this pattern is so important for me, we just saw the reason on the daily time frame. When equilibrium patterns break with certain other conditions involved, but most of the time when equilibrium patterns break, we get significant follow through, and the longer term the time frame that it occurs on, the more significant, or the longer the length of the breakout or breakdown that we look for. So I have said in a few videos now, I'm expecting to get a signal sometime late May, early June, maybe mid-June, late May to June, where I'm going to be looking for this pattern on the weekly time frame to give us a break and dictate direction potentially for the rest of the year. And news events could definitely change these things, but that's what I'm looking for. And if we get the lower high in the upper 8,000 range, we'll be looking good for this tightening pattern. And then ideal scenario for me, that what I would like to happen the best, really, if I could give you my ideal scenario, I'd like to see Bitcoin go to 9,200. I'd like to see a lower high set. I'd like to pull back and bounce off of 8,000, set a higher low. Actually, we could pull back a little more than that even. 7,700, 7,800. A higher low on the weekly, and then we break that most recent lower high at 9,200. That would be the equilibrium and then trend change from consolidation back to the bulls. That would be best case scenario for the bulls in 2018. So looking at the monthly time frame, longer term, that would make it a bull flag. And many people have been pointing out that this is a bull flag right now, and that would, if we break the consolidation pattern on the weekly time frame, break the lower highs, this monthly chart is going to be looking to go and confirm the bull flag. So is there a scenario where we see all-time highs in 2018? Yes, absolutely. And that's what we're going to need to see on the weekly time frame, absent of any major game-changing news. That's what's going to have to play out. So it's not going to happen anytime soon. We need to be patient, but we need to strike and be aggressive if that does happen. Scenario 2 is the bear break, and we lose this higher low, however high we get on this bounce, and we pull back and we break support of 6,450. That would be a big setback for the bulls. That would kick the can down the road in terms of when the bulls are going to regain the trend, and that would make for a pretty bleak summer for the bulls, in my opinion. And it would all be then depend on 5,873. But if we break that support level, the odds of breaking that low increase very significantly. So that's what I'm looking longer term. Let's now check out today's action. Daily inside bar is forming. So that's what I'm talking about, where first thing this morning, I wake up, I put on the 4-hour time frame because I know that's what I'm keeping an eye on. And I see an equilibrium is shaping up. We were already pulling back from our lower high. So that's how I know, okay, we're not going to see a really action-packed day. We're going to see consolidation. Equilibrium is absolutely anticipated after a huge breakout like this. Remember, it's when we see a breakout or a breakdown to a new price range that we see the equilibrium price discovery action going on. So we're establishing support and resistance on this move. Support is down at 7,800 and 7,806. We topped out on the move at 8,220. Our lower high, 8,150. And now we have a higher low, very clear, 7,875. So same thing as what I just said on the weekly time frame. The ideal scenario for me for this pattern to be bullish would be set at a lower high under 8,100, pull back, set a higher low, perhaps at 8,000, and then see the bull break of the 4-hour equilibrium, which would have us come and test the high of the move to this point. We could absolutely see continuation. We're not too overbought on time frames here. The 4-hour RSI has cooled off substantially in this equilibrium. Hourly time frame certainly not overbought. So the range is tightening, and we're going to watch for a potential lower high around 8,100. And if this were to continue playing out in the way that I just described, I would be looking for a break early in the wee hours of the East Coast here on the US. So maybe 12, 15 hours from now. So that's what I'm watching. Other than that, I'm all cash. I'm not doing anything until we see a clear break. And I will likely act on that clear break if we do see a bull break. And it's nice and convenient. Look at the volume drop off with that equilibrium pattern. So that's what I'm watching. Litecoin is the weekly time frame similar to the setup on Bitcoin in the sense that we have this equilibrium pattern shaping up with our all-time high, our low, lower high. We have the higher low now, although actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's not as convincing that this is our higher low because the bounce hasn't even really gotten going. We had the I'm calling this an inside bar last week, and although we broke that by 10 cents this week, I'm still calling it another inside bar. That's definitely enough for me to call that a double bottom, close enough. So multiple inside bars on the weekly time frame. The fact that Bitcoin broke the inside bar bullish told us, okay, we're shifting momentum. The bears have been in control. We have shifted the momentum to the bulls, at least in the short term. That shift has not happened on this weekly time frame for Litecoin yet. So we're not sure if this is going to be our higher low and a must-hold level. It will be a must-hold level as soon as we see that continuation and a break of some of these lower highs. So the daily time frame, the lower high that we're talking about is the early April spike that was bigger than Ethereum and Bitcoin, but now it's kind of biting Litecoin in the back as that's the level that we have to get over, and we're still pretty weak until we get over that level. Still a very tightening pattern here where obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum have busted out of anything tightening. So the bulls are trying to form another daily higher low and then a break of 133.50 and 137.89. 4-hour time frame is not an equilibrium. So we keep highlighting the last week plus that Litecoin is the weakest name here. And it showed that on the bounce, and it's showing that right now. The equilibrium has a lower high and lower low. We couldn't hold that higher low. It didn't break by a big difference, but it's just a small little notable factor where we didn't have Bitcoin nor Ethereum close to breaking its 4-hour equilibrium, where here we did on Litecoin. So resistance is 129.96, and our new support is 124.30. And the direction that we do break on Bitcoin, we will likely break Litecoin as well. But if it's a bull break, the bulls are going to have harder work in terms of getting back to the recent highs. So hourly time frame, again, just watching the shortening range at this point, the tightening range, and looking for the potential of a lower high and a higher low heading into tonight. Ethereum on the weekly time frame is different than the other two. It is not an equilibrium pattern. We are not going to change this trend anytime soon. Unfortunately for the Ethereum bulls, we can definitely still see strength, but in terms of being confident on the weekly time frame that we are changing the trend, we have to set the top of this bounce, pull back, set a higher low, and then a higher high. And even then, to get back to this resistance level that is so much closer on Bitcoin, it's going to take a lot of work. So in my opinion, Bitcoin, unless, again, news changes anything, but unless we see something significant come out, Bitcoin's going to see a new all-time high before Ethereum does, in my opinion. And that's just because of the ground that needs to be made up. So we have the inside bar bull break. This is now our must-hold support level at 360. Solid bounce going through. The daily time frame inside bar is forming. Definitely need to be cautious of consolidation, and we'll anticipate it to be normal, healthy consolidation, but it is due now that we have seen 8 green days in a row here. So have to be a bit cautious, but again, it's likely going to just follow along with what Bitcoin's doing. Here's the equilibrium pattern where we have our high, low, lower high, higher low. So the range right now that I'm watching is 488 support and 513.86 resistance. Right in the middle of that range right now, volume really dropping off, things slowing down. And again, when you see an equilibrium pattern, when you see a daily inside bar forming, you know shorter term time frames are likely in equilibrium. And then when you see that on a time frame like the 4-hour, you know that you have a good ways to go before the break is going to occur because of how long these candlesticks take to play out. So that's where we stand on all of these names. Longer term time frame zooming in, and we'll see what happens on this break. If we get a bull break, I will only be looking at a short-term trade again, because I am anticipating the daily to set the high of the bounce sooner rather than later. So I would want to be quick to lock in my profit. Certainly not going to go broke if you continually lock in profit. So I would be looking for an entry on the break. Probably wouldn't even be confident enough to go full position. But again, it depends on all the little details and the volume behind the move. But I would be looking to enter on the break of the equilibrium pattern and, scaling out as usual, protecting, locking in some profit and letting a little bit ride a little bit longer. I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. As far as do good things, I appreciate you guys sharing. I read every message that we get, especially on the YouTube videos, and people calling and talking to people's management about their good service. Or one guy has a tenant and he gave her free rent or something along those lines. So really cool to see that ripple out. Today's good thing is pretty simple, and it has to do with hooking up this little dude.